Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today. And today, the Texas Longhorns lose to the Washington Huskies 37-31 in the Sugar Bowl. The Washington Huskies advance to the national championship to play Michigan, which will take place on January 15th in my hometown, Houston, Texas. Would have been great to see my favorite team, the Texas Longhorns, advance to the national championship and play in my hometown. And even though tickets we're going to be probably really expensive, maybe have the chance to go. Probably not. I don't know. But Washington and Michigan will be the national championship. Will still be so cool to have that in this city of Houston, where I live. And this was a great game tonight where it didn't seem Texas had a chance at all. Sure, Texas had a chance to, going into this game. But at the end, it didn't seem that Texas had a chance at all. Down 37-28 with 2 minutes remaining. Sure, if you scored a touchdown and then got a stop, and then get a field goal, that would have been the case. Longhorns weren't able to score a touchdown. They go for a field goal with 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining, 25 yards from Auburn. It's 37-31. You're thinking with a minute, you got to get this onside kick, or there's not any hope at all, or you're going to get the ball back with 20 to 10 seconds in that area with a Hail Mary to potentially win the game, which doesn't seem likely at all. So you give it back. You give it back to Washington. The onside is no good. So now you do not have a lot of options left. You get Washington down to third down. They run the ball with Dylan Johnson, who had 2 touchdowns today with 49 rushing yards, and he gets injured on the play. It's fourth down. Clock stops due to the injury. Due to him being injured really bad to the point where they had to cart him off. The clock stops at, originally was at 45 seconds, and they bump it up to 50. The Huskies have to punt. They punt to Texas. Texas would have originally been at the 20-yard line, but this gets better for Texas. Jordan Whittington was interfered with on the fair catch, which it was a fair catch attempt, and a Washington player ran into Whittington, and it was a penalty. Texas started at the 30-something yard line, and even with 50 seconds, there was some hope. Get a couple of big plays, even with 0 timeouts, you could do something and maybe try to get a couple shots at the end zone. Well, on a second down, I believe it was, you take a big shot to Jordan Whittington. Was a 41-yard throw, and it was a great catch, great diving catch for Jordan Whittington. Gets in the 30-yard line. And then you have a nice throw to the 13 or 14-yard line to Jaden Blue, which was actually a question if it was a catch or not. And then it gets to the point where you get to take. The Longhorns took. After they got to the 14, they made 4 throws, but only 2 were to the end zone. One was a throwaway by Ewers, and one was a throw to the running back, Jaden Blue, which went nowhere. Took 2 shots to the end zone. Last one was on 4th down and 11, and Longhorns do not succeed on that, and they lose this game 37-31. I think it's just amazing the fact that they had a shot at the end, with the circumstances that they were at the end of the game. But this was a great season for the Longhorns. Finished the season 12-2. And the fact that we haven't won the Big 12 in how long we haven't won the Big 12 in so long. It's been 13 or 14 years since we won the Big 12. We did that this year. First time we're back in the college football playoffs since, I think, 2009 or 2010. And we did that. We may have not won. We may have not advanced to the national championship, but this is our first time back there. And I think that's impressive. Now you're going to have to go into next season, your first year in the SEC. You got to advance into the college football playoffs and win the Big 12 in your last year in the Big 12. But now it's SEC time. And some of the teams that you're facing this year, like Alabama, and some of the teams that are you're going to be competing with next year, that are going to try to make it into the college football playoffs, will be in your conference, and the Longhorn schedule will get way harder. You're still going to play an Oklahoma team every year. You're gonna. I don't think we face Alabama next year, but we face Michigan next year. We have other harder matchups in the SEC as well. So, I think it's gonna be hard in our first year in the SEC. But here's the thing: I still think the Texas Longhorns are, gonna be contenders to make it into the college football playoffs next year as well. Even though it's their first year in the SEC, this is a great game for them today. Even though they lost, let's go over some stats for the Longhorns. We'll go over full scoring summary and then go over the game leaders from this ball game. First quarter, Dylan Johnson had a 2-yard touchdown run, and Jaden Blue had a 5-yard touchdown run. It's 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. Then the second quarter, you had 4 touchdowns, 2 for each team. Dylan Johnson, another touchdown run from 1 yard, 14-7. Then Brian Murphy with the second with a 1-yard touchdown run. It's 14-14. Then Michael Penix Jr. with a 29-yard touchdown pass to Jalen Polk. It's 21-14. Then C.J. Baxter with a 3-yard touchdown run. It's 21-21. This play, what a touchdown catch from Jalen McMillan. Michael Penix Jr. threw a 19-yard touchdown pass to Jalen McMillan. It's 28-21. Grady Gross has a 26-yard field goal, and it's 31-21. Then in the fourth quarter, Grady Gross with a 40-yard field goal. It's 34-21. Then Quinn Ewers throws a 1-yard touchdown pass to Donnie Mitchell. It's 34-28. Grady Gross with a 27-yard field goal. It's 37-28. And then Burt Auburn with a 25-yard field goal. It's 37-31. Game leaders, Quinn Ewers, 24 for 43, 318 pass yards, 1 passing touchdown. Michael Penix Jr., the reason why they won and the reason why they're advancing to the national championship to face Michigan. 29 for 38, 430 passing yards, and 2 passing touchdowns. Rushing yards, C.J. Baxter, 9 carries, 64 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown. Dylan Johnson, 21 carries for 49 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. And Jatavion Sanders, one of the best Longhorns, one of the best tight end Longhorn in history. Obviously, I wouldn't go as far to say he's the best, but he's one of the best tight ends in Longhorn history. 6 receptions for 75 receiving yards, and then Rome Oduzune with 6 receptions for 125 receiving yards for Washington. Great win for Washington. Congratulations to them. I do have some family members that are Washington fans, so this is not a terrible loss for me because I'm sure that's good for them. I'm not mad that Washington's in the national championship because actually I like both of these teams. I like Penix. I really like Michael Penix Jr. as a quarterback. He's a stud. Has a great arm, and I think he has a lot of talent. And I can't wait to see him get to the NFL, man. Wherever he goes, as long as he doesn't, which with the quarterback, with how successful the AFC South is quarterback-wise, as long as he doesn't go to one of the teams that the Houston Texans, my favorite team, is in the same division, as long as he doesn't go to the Jags or the Colts or the Titans, which I'm pretty sure with how, good of a quarterback situation the AFC South is right now, Michael Penix will not be going in the AFC South. You got Stroud, which if he went to the Texans, which he's 100% is not going to the Texans, I would be, of course, be a fan of him because I am a Texans fan. You have the Jags, they have Trevor Lawrence. The Colts have Anthony Richardson. The Titans, they have Will Levis. So I'm gonna be a fan of Michael Penix Jr. wherever he goes. I really like him. I really like him as a player and a person, and has a great arm and has some great talent. Even though he just beat my favorite team. Although I do like both of these teams. Obviously, like Texas more, but I like Washington too. This one hurts, but I'm happy for Penix Jr. And even though they just beat Texas, I'm going to be rooting for Washington in the national championship. I am not a big fan of Michigan. I like the coach, Harbaugh, but and JJ McCarthy's not bad. He's not a bad quarterback. I don't dislike anybody from Michigan. I just don't really like the Michigan as a team. It's not that I like Ohio State. I just don't really care for Michigan and don't really want to see them win the national championship. I'd like it to go to Washington, even though they just beat my favorite team. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section, and peace out.